The year 2016 was a very progressive year for Seacology-Sudeesa Sri Lanka Mangrove Conservation Program. The program aimed at conserving all of Sri Lanka's mangroves, which include 22 species of mangroves that are associated with 48 major lagoon systems in 14 coastal districts of Sri Lanka. The mangrove extent in Sri Lanka is little over 36,000 acres of land, and it provides breeding ground for many fish, shrimp and crab species and facilitated to atmosphere carbon sequestration. In addition, many species of mangroves provide medicine for cancer treatment and also acts as a buffer for hurricanes and tsunami. Within the last 30-year period, over 14,000 acres of mangroves had been destroyed for commercial shrimp farms and other industrial establishments. With the Ministry of Environment of Sri Lanka, Government and Sudeesa, Seacology has signed the MOU and agreed to provide financial support for a period of 5 years from 2015 to 2019 for the following activities. Set up mangrove nurseries to propagate 500,000 mangrove saplings and replant it in 1,080 acres. Set up 1,500 community organizations in 14 coastal districts, set up mangrove museum and on-the-job training facilities center, provide job skills training and microloan facilities for livelihood development for 15,000 needy women and school dropout youth, and finally all of them involved in conservation of mangroves. For the purpose of conservation, Sri Lanka government agreed to demarcate all of the mangrove areas of the country. Sri Lanka Navy also agreed to facilitate the replanting process.
Actually assign somebody for each area where they have planted the mangroves, and a person in the Navy has to go periodically, and if so much as one of the seedlings is not growing well, it gets replanted. So the Navy is really on top of this.
Mr. Udaya Senriratna said, "Our country is at risk in biodiversity and our sole responsibility is to protect biodiversity, including mangroves." On this, Seacology-Sudeesa Mangrove Conservation Program plays a vital role to protect the mangrove biodiversity. International media pressed the Seacology-Sudeesa Mangrove Conservation Program.
Sri Lanka is said to become the first country in the world to protect all its mangroves. Mangroves are known to be one of the most at-risk habitats in the world. Under an initiative announced on May 12th, the Sri Lankan government, in partnership with conservation organizations Seacology and NGO Sudeesa, will attempt to protect mangroves in the country from being cut down. Under the initiative, they have already roped in 15,000 women from 1,500 communities in the coastal region. These women will be provided with microloans and training to start businesses. In return, the women will stop using the trees for firewood and will guard the forest near their homes, making sure no one cuts down the trees. In case they fail to handle the matter themselves, they can report it to authorities, who will then provide legislative assistance. The $3.4 million initiative hopes to save mangroves, which cover an area of 21,782 acres in 48 lagoon systems. For Newspace Social Center Bureau in Hyderabad, I'm Dr. Manohar.
Of these activities, by December 2016, the following activities of Seacology-Sudeesa Sri Lanka Mangrove Conservation Program had been completed. First of all, a laborious task of Seacology-Sudeesa Mangrove Museum had been completed and inaugurated on July 26, 2016 by Sri Lanka President His Excellency Maithripala Sirisena, Seacology Chairman Dr. Paul Allen Cox and Executive Director Mr. Dwayne Silverstein, accompanied with Seacology Senior Board members, Sri Lankan senior government officers, school children and community members. The inauguration day of July 26 was the International Mangrove Day declared by UNESCO of United Nations.
picking to work with Sri Lanka for several reasons. First, Sri Lanka is blessed with 22 species of mangroves lining its shores. Second, it has a government with the forthrightness, with the courage to protect its mangroves for future generations. Third, it has a fantastic NGO, Sudeesa, headed by the incredible Anuradha Wickramasinghe, who we'd like to thank again. And fourth, it is full of wonderful, wonderful people dedicated to preserving their environment. Once that decision was made, we then had to go out and raise about $3.5 million US. It is the women who are the heart and soul and the keys to the success of this project. I would therefore like to close by thanking the women of Sri Lanka for making Sri Lanka the land of eternal mangroves. Istuti.
Certificate giving to children by Dr. Paul Allen Cox, the chairman of Seacology board members. Sri Lanka President stand for common picture with Seacology board members and Sudeesa board members. So far, over 6,000 visitors, including university students, school children, community members, and foreign visitors, had visited Seacology-Sudeesa Mangrove Museum, and among them, very reputed foreign visitors were present as well. Reputed lawyer and barrister of British judiciary and United Nations expert on widows' issues, Madam Margaret Owen was among the visitors of the Mangrove Museum. Many widowed beneficiaries were also present at the museum.
You see, you are a model because you show what widows can do when they are respected, when they are economically empowered, and when they are given all the support they require so they can raise their children, educate their children, and be in charge of their lives. Many congratulations to all of you, widows of all ages.
After inspecting the museum and mangrove nursery, Margaret Owen expressed her views on Seacology-Sudeesa Sri Lanka Mangrove Conservation Program.
I think it's about my 5th visit to Sri Lanka to see what is happening here with the Small Fishers Federation. And it's absolutely remarkable. Mangrove plantations which actually provide the right habitat for the fish and for fish breeding and for all manner of marine life. And what is remarkable is how the two things have come together. One is the widows who deserve and need and merit economic empowerment and training for work. But by that we don't mean giving them a cow or a sewing machine which gets them nowhere in their lives. But here, through this whole mango project, widows, I think something like 15,000 widows and their children are now involved in really professional jobs in this whole project about protecting and safeguarding the mangroves and the fish, but also in, as it's the first museum in the world, educating not only the Sri Lankan population about the importance of safeguarding our coastal districts, but they're also educating the whole world. Anu sent some of the widows to Thailand to learn how to make and process and market the Thai fish cakes. But I've also learnt in an incredibly remarkable, memorable documentary today about the value of the mangoes. This quite fabulous museum that I wish every school child in the world could come and visit. It wouldn't have been possible without the support of the Seacology Institute in the United States, which has, with ANU, managed to get this museum recognized as the first Seacology museum in the world. But it's thanks to the United States Seacology Institute.
By October 2016, 500,000 mangrove saplings had been produced in Seacology-Sudeesa nurseries. October 21, 2016, mangrove replanting campaign commenced in abandoned shrimp farms in association with Mundala Lagoon system. For this event, Seacology's Senior Manager on Special Projects, Ms. Karen Peterson, Sri Lanka Puttalam District Government Agent, Mr. Chitra Nanda, Sudeesa Chairman Anuradha Wickramasinghe, community members, school children, Sri Lanka Navy, Sri Lankan Army and School Scouts participated. By December 24th, 538,233 mangrove saplings had been replanted in 954 acres of abandoned shrimp farm areas, destructed mangrove lands and also mangrove destructed areas in lagoon shores in Kalpitia, Mundala lagoons, Dutch canals, Jaffna and Trincomalee, Mana lagoon coastal belts. The forest officer of Mundala area educated the children on suitable plants at the edge of the lagoon shore and how to maintain and protect the mangroves. The government officer Chitra Nanda indicated that many mangrove forests in Puttalam had been destroyed for shrimp farming illegally and are compelled to ban the destruction of mangroves. We appreciate the Seacology and Sudeesa action to protect and safeguard the mangroves.
නමුත් මොකද වුනේ විශේෂයෙන් මේ මුන්දලම කොට්ටාසය කියන්නේ කඩුලාන විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් තිබුණා. මේ හරිය තිබිටි සියලුම කඩුලාන මේ ඉස්සුවගාව නිසා විනාශ කළා. මම කියන්නේ ඉස්සුවගාව කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ කියලා. නමුත් අපි ඉස්සුවගාව කරනකොට අපි තුල තිබුණේ නැහැ කිසිම විනයක් සංවරයක් මේ ඉඩම් පරිහරණය පිළිබඳව.
Ms. Karen Peterson expressed her views on Seacology-Sudeesa Sri Lanka Mangrove Conservation Program.
It is so important that these areas are replanted for the future, for not just your children, but your children's children. I know that there's been a lot of discussion about why mangroves are important. I will just tell you why they have been so important to us as a US-based organization. After the 2004 tsunami, people across the world started understanding how important mangrove forests are to protect the coastlines throughout the world. But then people started understanding, research started coming out as to how important mangrove forests are in helping mitigate climate change throughout the world. Overall strength of the coastal communities in which you live. I thank you so much on behalf of Seacology for working to protect the mangrove forests, and I look forward to coming back here in a few years and seeing strong, healthy mangroves that you are working to keep healthy for your future generations.
For the demarcation of mangroves out of 36,000 acres, 15,500 acres had been demarcated by Forest Department of Sri Lanka. The balance amount must be completed in the coming years. To strengthen the communities by socially and economically, community training and microloan granting programs has also been commenced. By the end of December 2016, 912 community organizations had been set up and 10,092 women and youth members had joined the community organizations. Of them, 1,372 members had completed training and 1,253 had obtained microloans for livelihood development.
Sea level is now rising around the world. Storms are so frequent now around the world. Mother Earth is now turning upside down. Nature is at all-out war with mankind.